Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. And let's begin by just, appreciating the efforts being made by Sypa and SIBEC for arranging this for the benefit of all the people from our community and also from other communities who are joining here. And everybody are welcome. And it's current focus, as we know, it's for the entrepreneurs and for the businessmen. But also we know that most likely 80 to 90% of our audience are effectively the Gen Z and people who are students are, aspiring entrepreneurs. They might not be the businessmen yet. So all of you are welcome, and we are going to just cover a very hot topic today as part of this presentation. Initially, I was targeting to cover comprehensively the strategy, the regulation, the funding, and market entry, and all of that. But mashallah, most of the speakers who have covered their respective topics, they have done more than the justification needed for those topics. So what we are going to cover today is some of my learnings from 30 years of my experience into cybersecurity and IT domain, and the technology, as well as the management and leadership learnings, as well as the entrepreneurial journey that I have covered so far. It's going to be a lot of learning that I'd like to share. And apart from that, what we have seen is, uh, you know, the main technology areas that are very important for the Saudi market. Those are the areas that we are going to cover. And with this, I'll just begin with my introduction. I'm Mir Ahmed Ali Shajee, and uh, I'm currently based out of Hyderabad, and I travel very frequently to Saudi Arabia. Uh, and last week I was in Qatar. Alhamdulillah, I've been with the delegation of our Minister of Commerce and Industries, Mr. Piyush Goyal, and a select delegation of businessmen. Alhamdulillah, it was a lot of learning on how the Qatar's economy is also opening. It was, although I have been almost 18 years into Saudi Arabia, Qatar being just next to it, it was my first visit there, and that too with a huge delegation and a lot of activities that we are planning to expand there. So we are based out of India, and we are planning to expand into GCC and other countries. We do have presence and active pursuit of opportunities and across the world, starting from California to Texas, Europe and GCC countries, and Australia and New Zealand as well. We do have 65 partners across the globe in these regions, and we do have a lot of active and senior talent, IIT grade talent, as well as the you know senior PhDs, which are top 2% on AI, as well as distinguished scholars and researchers who have done research publications, more than 100 publications on serious topics in emerging technologies. So with this humble introduction, I'd like to also explain the experience that we have in terms of the AI. We have delivered some interesting projects for our US clients, and we are actively, working on a product that's about to be launched, which is for the, matchmaking using AI. It's going to be a competitor for Shadi.com, but with the AI power. And it's going to be a very useful tool for the community who are focused on finding the right match. They don't have to go to the newspapers anymore, inshallah. And we'll try to make sure that our implementation will be secure and with privacy built in. And with this, I have been into various projects over the last 30 years. I have been the CISO for KFUPM, and which is the the top university in Saudi Arabia. I've been blessed with the opportunity by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do my master's degree there. And then I've been working almost 17 years into Saudi Arabia and FEPM. I was the CISO there before I moved on to Accenture. In Accenture, we did the world's biggest deployment of uh, the cybersecurity heart, as we call it, for the security information and event management system, which is which was done with uh, with the technology called Oxide, and it turned out to be the world's biggest deployment for that particular implementation. And then, Accenture turned out to be the world's biggest cybersecurity consulting company over a period of time. And Alhamdulillah, I led many projects there. And then I started my own cybersecurity company after completing some more projects. The world's second largest BFSI client in Europe. We did the application security assurance and DevSecOps. I'm explaining these things because, when I talk about the emerging technologies that are being in demand, you'll be able to correlate some of the stuff and then get back to me using the QR code here. You can just connect with us on LinkedIn, and then if you want to collaborate, you're more than welcome to connect. Or if you want to have some help, we'll be we'll try our best to find some time to help and guide you. So with this basic introduction, we have also covered some of the for the world's second largest appliance manufacturer called Electrolux. We have done the cloud security assurance for governance for them, and been the CISO for Dabur as well for helping them with the cybersecurity. So with this small, in fact, a bit elaborate introduction, I would like to move on with the next slide. Okay. Okay. So bear with me, the slides are loading a bit slow. Okay. Are you seeing the agenda now? Okay. So basically, we are going to touch on the Saudi landscape and what are the government priorities on these emerging technologies, and then we'll uh, touch upon some of these emerging technologies a bit, and then focus more on the deep dive through the question and answer sessions. So rather than just draining all the slides, we'll be skipping this the sections 3, 4, and 5, and then just cover the practical do's and don'ts, because the sections that we are going to skip, as I said, they have been given due coverage by our fellow panelists and speakers. Okay, so now, as we know, uh, the current time, as many of our speakers have mentioned, it has Saudi Arabia has been a, a golden place for various reasons. Many people want to go and work there because it's the country has its own special place in our heart because of having our Haramain and Sharifain as part of that country. We find it easier to just work there and then go for Umrah and Hajj while working. It's much easier. So I have enjoyed that, and most of you who are either already there or you're just aspiring to go there, that's the big plus. But apart from that, Saudi Arabia is blessed with the oil economy, and that has been a big blessing, which they are now utilizing uh, to fund the diversification to technologies that will expand their economy to different areas and diversify it. So with the ambitious Vision 2030, this diversification and digitalization is on the top of the agenda. And then we have massive organized effort that's happening by channeling the entire savings and fund through the PIF, and it's it's being used to fund the entire, set of priorities. Now, with this, we'll just skip to the next slide, and then we have this, the fund itself for AI, as per the recent, Reuters report, $40 billion of investment just for AI itself. That's huge, huge, and huge. Now, what we need to do, if you are aspiring to be an entrepreneur or a businessman, or if you are a student, stick to the latest and emerging technologies, learn them. If you are already a graduate student who's done with the graduation, you can, enroll in some of the universities in Saudi Arabia. That will be a good starting point for you to build or begin your entrepreneurial journey right in Saudi Arabia itself. That way, you'll do some projects within the universities there and then be part of the startup ecosystem. Okay. And if you are already an entrepreneur or if you are aspiring to be an entrepreneur, you can, get started by connecting with people who have already, spent decades. Like most of our fellow speakers have been mentioning that, it's a special market, whether it's a special, business culture. What we need to understand is, in order to be successful in that market, it's not one size fits all. Anything that works in Dubai or UAE or other countries or US or Europe may not work here. Here, you need to be an expert in the area. You need to have a very strong product or service, but also you need to align yourself with people who are, having a right level of trust built based on their delivery over the period of decades. So trust doesn't come overnight. On many projects, you will expect you to see that, the requirements itself says that you need to have certain number of years of experience, certain number of, uh, you know, balance sheet and various other expectations that is obviously required for such critical projects. So when we are talking about the the Saudi Arabia's priority list, there is definitely a focus on building local cloud, presence. So big companies like Google is already there. AWS, Amazon AWS, and Azure is expected to be there by 2026 or a little later. They are in the process of paperwork to and various other, you know, uh, requirements to enter the market, and then various other big players like SAP is already there, China's Huawei is there, and various other cloud and data center services are expanding over there. Now, on the AI front, um, Saudi Arabia, as we just discussed, it's that AI is not something that you want to just take as, something as optional. As the IT minister, His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Swaha has mentioned in one of the talks that he gave recently, he said, if somebody is not going to be expert in AI, they will be left behind. That's the gist of his message. So AI is not optional. It's not in Saudi Arabia. It's everywhere. AI is just like, if you are an engineer, earlier you used to, about, I remember my father being an engineer, he used to use some manual methods to do calculations for his civil engineering things. But then the calculators came and people adopted it to do things faster. Now, AI is a similar technology that you cannot avoid. It's just like a calculator, it's just like a, computer or, mobile of their own times. If you just miss getting yourself up to speed on it, you'll be left behind. Then you have the other priorities by the market, which is the healthcare digitization, or Industry X.0 in general, as we call it in our Accenture terminology. That during my Accenture days, which is the transformation of not just the computer-related stuff, but also the business processing and manufacturing and the physical stuff through the advanced latest technologies that are coming up and migrating them to the digital world. So having that digital transformation uh, comes with its own risk. So security, cybersecurity is the center of the requirements. So there are huge sets of requirements that uh, that have come up globally, like GDPR in Europe, numerous requirements in US, and in Saudi Arabia you have for the data privacy, you have the PDPL requirement for general cybersecurity essential controls, the basic ones. You have the NCA's ECC and so on, which we'll cover. So having secure networks and building technologies related to cybersecurity is again uh, on the priority list for Saudi government. So the expectation is you bring your expertise, bring your products, either in terms of services or products, you bring that expertise and make it localized for the Saudi market. Okay. Then you have another focus area, which is the smart city technologies, wherein uh, you know, as you have seen the new initiatives that are happening, even in India, like Hyderabad, it's moving towards a smart city project, small scale. In Saudi Arabia, it's happening at the country level, with big projects like Tidia, like NEOM, and various others happening at huge, investments. Although the NEOM's project has been downsized for some time, still it's an interesting thing for us to understand that that's also one of the uh, you know priority areas. Then you have the renewable technology controls and so on. Now let's have a deeper look at the stuff that we have talked about, the AI, the generative AI, MLOps, and then you have the agentic AI that we are talking about now. So if you are working on AI and if you have a product, you can begin by you know doing a small scale POC for it, and then also try to market it in the Saudi market by just aligning yourself with some of the players who already have their decades of trust-based relationship within the market, because here the expectation is uh, you know how many of the projects over the past decades you have successfully completed, how many of the projects have you you know lived up to your word. So, so as one example that I give for some of my mentees is, you know, one of my relatives started a company. I asked him, how do you get such big projects one after another? He said, it's built over decades of trust. So he said, I have delivered one project, lived up to my word. In some cases, there were, losses, but still he delivered based on whatever he committed to. Then the second project, then the third project, and so on. And over a period of, years and decades, you build that trust, after which you will have your name in the market. So once you are once you make up your mind to enter this market, the first thing that you need to do is align with someone who has already developed the trust. They will definitely vet you in terms of whether you are, suitable to be their partners. And then if you are worth being a partner with them, like, many panelists on the speakers list here, uh, some of them are really doing good work in terms of having a long journey of success based on trust. So align with one of them. Even we do have a lot of active projects in pursuit. Uh, Align with any of us and try to sense the market. As one of the youngster on one of the calls yesterday, he said, "How do I test the waters?" And for anybody who wants to enter the market, I would strongly advise you to test the waters first. Get familiar and then enter. Okay. And how do you do that? You align with the people who are already there. Sometimes you might just have your own connections that are already strong enough for you to start testing the waters. So begin with that and then, expand. Uh, Now, uh, apart from AI, in terms of cloud and edge computing, there's a huge demand, and data centers are being set up in Saudi Arabia. There are specific economic zones being set up for different areas. Like for logistics, there is a specific area designated for special economic zone and so on. For different sectors, there are different zones. But for IT, the good news is the entire country can be utilized. You can set up your office anywhere and be part of that, blessed opportunity, and start testing the waters by starting there. And then cybersecurity, we have been in this area for the past 30 years. And I have seen many other people who are working in Saudi Arabia. They are doing really, really good job, aligned with one of them. And, if you have, passion for this area, that's the right field for you. Because with AI, many simpler fields are going to be eaten up by AI itself. So you need to be enough. You need to be well versed with AI, have some level of expertise in AI, but also have a relatively complex field like cybersecurity, like various other things, yeah, that are there. You just stick to one additional field and become an expert in that, and that's another recipe for success. So not just AI, but some more stuff. And I would personally say that, as my own personal experience, I have focused on cybersecurity and then to cloud and then to AI as AI became more popular, especially after the advent of generic AI and then the agentic AI. The more you are sticking to the emerging technologies, the more you have a faster road to success. If you are sticking to the super saturated fields, you are kind of slowing yourself down. And but on the other side, as one of the speakers have said yesterday, even for clothing business, there are huge opportunities. So there's no discouraging other fields. But if you are passionate about the IT and you are already into IT, and then you want to focus on the next generation technologies, you're most welcome to to begin in the right direction on the right areas. So instead of stepping into 10 different areas, begin with one, make your mark, and then expand further. Okay. Then the IoT that we talked about, the smart cities projects and various other stuff. Uh, we are doing, in fact, we are beginning to receive some requirements from some of our clients for these projects as well. In terms of healthcare, we do have just 2 days back, we have submitted one application for next generation healthcare related product that we are going to begin if we are selected as the shortlisted vendor. Now, in terms of fintech, again, that's a hot field that many people focus on. One good news for Indians is that people who have been using UPI, and if you are into the APIs and payment gateway related work, uh, fintech is going to catch up. Just uh, 2 weeks back, uh, our Commerce and Industries Minister made an announcement in Qatar that Qatar is beginning to adopt the UPI that's being used in India, and India is going to have that. This thing might be expanded to other GCC countries as well. So stay tuned for and equip yourself if you are into that field. Become experts in the payment gateway integrations and if you have any product in mind on the fintech side, I mean, it's worth trying as well. Okay. And then you have the robotics and automation and stuff. Now, what we are trying to do is, if you see the next slides, in AI, we pretty much explained very well about it. Some of the use cases that we want to talk about here is a combination of stuff. So you might have the IoT devices as well as the predictive capability of AI and data analytics and so on for predicting the maintenance required in oil and gas fields and so on. Okay, and that's one of the niche areas that you can expect to begin. Now the thing is, would like to make very clear that when you are entering into this area, you are effectively competing against all the competitors in the market. And Saudi Arabia currently is the center of
Mr.
attraction for.
Mr. Mir Shajee, sorry to interrupt
Yeah.
you. I think we exceeded the time already. So the
Okay.
next
So
speaker is
I'm
awaiting, and kindly conclude in 2 to 3 minutes, please.
okay. Fine. Fine. Thank you. So
Thank you.
we have pretty much covered that. Thank you so much. I'll conclude it in 2 minutes. So in AI, we have covered pretty much the other stuff we have covered. I'll just focus on the do's and don'ts towards the end of the slide. So we have covered most of the technologies, and feel free to reach out to us if you have any specific, uh, you know, discussions around these areas. Uh, and skipping the stuff that's already covered by many other speakers. So in terms of do's and don'ts, most of the people that focus on Saudi Arabia market or any other market within the GCC, I mean, especially from India, uh, I'd like to advise them to think win-win. Okay, when you are entering that market, try to make sure that for you to be a successful person, you need to deliver a value to the market that you're entering in. So if you are able to, make a good business and also train the local resources and help them become successful in their jobs, that's the value you are adding as an Indian to that community. So be very helpful and helping the local community follow all the rules and regulations. Requirements are very strict. The rest of the do's and don'ts I'll skip. You might have already read it. I'll hand it over back to the coordinator to take the next steps. Thank you.